Well, hello. This video is going over the significance of meiosis to sexual reproduction. Alright, meiosis. What is meiosis? Meiosis is when I produce 4 unique daughter cells, which are gametes. Gametes are sex cells, which are eggs and sperm. So the first thing that we need to go over is basically like, where is meiosis happening in your body? In a female, it happens in the ovary. This actually happens basically before you're born as a female. So you're already born with a certain amount of eggs. So like meiosis has already occurred in the womb, which is super duper crazy. And then once you get older, like 12, 13, you start going through puberty. That's when you're releasing 1 egg a month. If that doesn't get fertilized, basically won't turn into a child, then it's released, and that's what your period is. For guys, meiosis occurs in your testes. Testes produce sperm. So your sex cells are sperm. Now guys, they're not born with a set amount of sperm. Like, they can make sperm their whole life. Whereas women will eventually go into menopause, and menopause is basically when like your eggs have run out, like you can no longer have kids because you have no more eggs that could be fertilized. Guys, however, never stop producing sperm unless there's some sort of medical issue. So meiosis occurs in the ovary for a female, testes for a guy. Okay, cool. We're gonna go over the specifics about what meiosis does. So meiosis sounds super similar to mitosis. The way that I distinguish them, mitosis has a T for 2. It produces 2 cells. Meiosis doesn't have a T, so it produces 4 cells. Mitosis, remember, is 2 identical cells. They're like clones. And then meiosis is 4 cells that are completely unique. Basically, we do meiosis to make sure that we're not clones of our parents. Okay. Meiosis, we start with a cell that's diploid, which means that we have all the chromosomes. It goes through 2 rounds. It goes through meiosis 1, and then it goes through meiosis 2. In meiosis 1, I'm actually going to draw something down here. Meiosis 1, we go through prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1. And then meiosis 2, you guessed it, there is prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and telophase 2. Okay, prophase 1, I'm going to draw this one. In prophase 1, we have something called crossing over. Crossing over is when my chromosomes align, and then I sort of exchange or swap genetic material. That's like, this isn't for mom or dad, like this is literally in just your cells, so like this would be all female, all male. So in here, this is when I'm taking parts of my DNA and I'm like flip-flopping it, so I may have a gene that has like brown hair and blonde hair. Like, I could be heterozygous for the trait, but if I swap it, at the end I'm creating 4 cells that have like a little bit of each. I'm not sure like what that would end up being for a child, depending on what it combined with, because I never know what kind of egg I'm going to produce. So each of these eggs has like half the amount of DNA. These are all haploid. They have half the DNA or chromosomes because I get the other half to make a kid from the guy or girl. So here, meiosis is just the process of making an egg. This has nothing to do with the other sex. It's not until I would get to fertilization. Fertilization is an egg and a sperm, and then that makes a zygote. Okay, but meiosis is just the part of making the sperm or the egg. After meiosis has been complete, that's when fertilization would happen. That's when the egg and sperm would be combined. Of course, in your life, it would be much later in life that you would be combining egg and sperm. Much later in life. Okay, recap. Mitosis produces 2 cells that are identical. Meiosis produces 4 cells that are very, very unique. They are called haploid cells because they have half the amount of DNA. Part of meiosis is, one of the main things in here is that it increases genetic variation. This is the reason why we look different from our parents. It's because of processes like crossing over, where I'm exchanging genetic material in my chromosomes, that I make like a different combination of my DNA so that my kid wouldn't be the same as me. Alright, that's our review for meiosis. Have fun on your practice.